Most of us have seen the movie Men in Black and probably heard stories about them across the world. No one really knows who they are or who they work for, or if they are just a fairy tale. Are they Secret Service agents who work on top secret assignments for the world's governments, or are they extraterrestrial in origin put here for nefarious reasons? The stories I'm going to tell you about the real Men in Black, who are nothing like how they are portrayed in the movie, are so strange that it might just creep you out a little. In October of 2008, a manager of the Sheraton Hotel in Ontario, Canada, apparently witnessed a silent triangular-shaped UFO, and the media reported on this sighting. Not long after the story broke in the news, two men in identical black suits entered the hotel and began to ask the hotel staff about the manager. They wanted to know where he was, but the staff advised them that he was away from work that day. Lucky for him. These two men, as I said earlier, wore identical black suits. Their hair appeared to be a wig that seemed stuck to their hats. They had the same facial features as if they were twins, and they had no eyebrows and no eyelashes. They were also extremely intimidating to the staff, and according to some of the persons who worked at the hotel, they spoke some gibberish about conspiracy theories. Before these two men left, they wandered around the hotel for a while before leaving, never to be seen again. The hotel managed to capture CCTV footage of these two men entering the hotel lobby, and the hotel manager even gave a statement about what had occurred while he was away. Why don't we take a look at the footage now and listen to his statement?
There's a couple really strange looking men that were here, and they kind of freaked everybody out, and they were asking questions about you. And of course, now I'm getting a little bit nervous, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, well, he goes, I don't know how to describe them except for extremely odd looking. They were the exact same height, they were wearing the exact same clothes, and they had the exact same faces, like they were twins. And he said they were wearing black suits, black trench coats, they were wearing like the old-fashioned Federo hats. They had extremely pale skin. And he said they came in and they asked for you. And I said, I'm sorry, he's actually not working today. And it seemed like they didn't believe me, so they started to walk around the hotel, and shortly after they went to the tour desk. But he goes, they freaked me out, and I really wanted to tell you that there were these weird guys in here looking for you. So, of course, now I'm a little bit skeptical and I'm a little bit freaked out all at the same time. So the first thing I do is I run into my security office and I rewound the cameras. And sure enough, here comes two gentlemen through the front door looking exactly how he described. Then the next day, I was talking with my tour desk, and one of them asked to talk to me. She came in my office, the same as my bellman, and she said, I heard that you heard that there were some men looking for you. And she said, they asked a few questions about you, and they said strange things that I didn't understand. And they were talking about governments and conspiracies, and none of it made any sense to me. But she goes, they were very scary. She said they had no eyebrows, no eyelashes, nothing. Their hair looked like they had a wig on, like it was attached to their hat, like it wasn't even real. And she said, and the scariest thing, their eyes were so big and so blue that they almost hypnotized me a little bit. And she goes, and you're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but I swear they knew what I was thinking. And she started to cry. And she said one more thing before she left. She said, these men, they didn't blink. Not once did I see them blink.
My reasoning tells me that this footage could be a hoax to draw in tourists and business to the hotel. After all, the manager witnessed a UFO, and another employee at the hotel also witnessed a UFO in the same area, Niagara Falls. People could have dressed up as men in black and concocted a story about aliens to draw attention to the hotel, as I said earlier on. But there are other stories of men in black which back up the statements made by the Niagara Falls hotel staff, like the one told by Dr Herbert Hopkins. The respected family physician from Old Orchard Beach, Maine, was home alone on the night of September the 11th, 1976. At the time, Hopkins was studying a UFO incident. The phone rang and a man's voice identified himself as a representative of a New Jersey UFO organisation, which turned out to be phony. He wanted to know if he could come here and talk to me about the UFO case. He also asked if I was alone, and I said yes. When Hopkins walked from the phone to the door and turned on the light, the man was already coming up the steps. If he was even as close as across the street or next door telephoning, he could not possibly have gotten here as soon as I did to turn on the light for him, recalled Hopkins. When the stranger came in, Hopkins was struck by his appearance. He wore a neatly tailored black suit, black shoes, black socks, a white shirt with a black tie, and he wore a black derby. You don't see derbies very often, and I thought to myself, this guy looks just like an undertaker. When he sat down, he removed his derby. This character was as bald as an egg. He didn't even have eyebrows or eyelashes. It looked like he had smooth plastic skin like a doll, except that it was a dead white colour, Hopkins said. His lips were a brilliant ruby red, and he spoke in an expressionless, monotone scanning speech. He constructed no phrases and sentences, just a sequence of words evenly spaced. His voice was completely passive with no inflection or intonation, as if you were hearing it from a machine that could talk. During the short time that they were together, Hopkins and the strange man talked about the UFO case that the doctor had been investigating. Hopkins also noticed other very odd things about this man in black. He sat perfectly motionless and wore grey suede gloves. He idly brushed his lips with the back of a glove, and when he put his hand down, the back of his glove was bright red and the red on his mouth was smeared, so I knew he was wearing lipstick. Then I could see that his mouth was a perfectly straight slit. Apparently he did not have what we call lips, so the lipstick was put on as a decoy. His mouth was more like a ventriloquist dummy. Hopkins told this to a reporter in 1978 for a story broadcast on NBC radio. It seems that a lot of these stories about men in black are connected to sightings of UFOs. It's like they only appear when someone may be getting too close to the truth or to put people off the scent. I like to think of myself as a man of scientific and logical reasoning. I don't like to get caught up in conspiracies and hoaxes, or the idea that our governments are controlled by a secret alien cabal. No matter what, these stories are interesting, especially when they present video footage and seemingly plausible accounts from people who experienced these incidents. So, I'd like to know what you think about the real men in black. Why not leave a comment in the comments section, as I'd be interested to know what you all think. Tune in next Sunday for another Strangeries story. Thanks for watching.